Sydney, what is your reaction when you see Sydney Sweeney is trending on social media?
I'm like, oh, what for now?
What is wrong with Sydney Sweeney? It's the question the internet keeps asking. Every time she trends, every time she sells something new, every time she looks a little too perfect. How did one of Hollywood's most promising young actresses become one of its most divisive figures? Why do her ads spark outrage? Why do her interviews go viral for the wrong reasons? And why does every scandal, from great jeans to bathwater soap, somehow make her even more famous? Is Sydney Sweeney misunderstood, a woman reclaiming her image in a male-dominated industry? Or is she the architect of her own chaos, a PR mastermind who's learned that in 2025, attention is the only real currency? Because somewhere between euphoria and e-commerce, Sydney Sweeney stopped being just an actress and became a brand. A brand people can't stop watching, can't stop judging, and maybe can't stop misunderstanding. So today, we're asking the question no one can quite answer. Is Sydney Sweeney the victim of her own image, or the genius behind it? And if you've been online in the past year, you already know where this story really begins, with a denim ad that somehow managed to offend half the internet. Chapter 1. Great Jeans Scandal. On July 23, 2025, American Eagle launched a provocative campaign with Sydney Sweeney featuring the tagline, "Sydney, Sweeney has great jeans." A pun on jeans. Many critics highlighted that the ad's pun, "great jeans," felt uncomfortable because it featured Sweeney, a blonde, blue-eyed woman invoking historical associations with racialized beauty standards and eugenics. In response, some social media users pushed back against the hype, asserting she isn't inherently deserving of being labeled genetic perfection. They challenged the idea that her appearance represents universal beauty and saw the ad's framing as exclusionary.
My jeans are superior, and by that, I mean white with blonde hair. Don't check my roots.
A vocal influencer of South Asian descent stated publicly that the ad reminded her of feeling unattractive due to her race, explaining how she was emotionally triggered by the portrayal of a specific aesthetic as aspirational beauty. Within TikTok and other platforms, dissenting voices argued Sweeney's praised beauty standards are overrated. A few posts sarcastically claimed the ad elevates her beyond her actual fame or talent, not purely deserved. Many users also compared her to Megan Fox and other celebrities known for what fans call naturally superior genes, arguing that while Sydney is attractive, her look feels more manufactured by marketing than biologically exceptional. These comparisons reinforce the online sentiment that the ad's message of genetic perfection wasn't just tone deaf. It was misplaced. Doja Cat posted a viral TikTok video mocking the campaign.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality.
Observers also drew parallels to the controversial 1980 Brooke Shields Calvin Klein ad, which similarly used the jeans wordplay and sparked scandal in its time. American Eagle later clarified the campaign was meant to be tongue-in-cheek, emphasizing the denim, not genetics, as the focal point. Their Instagram statement, "Sydney Sweeney has great jeans," is and always was about the jeans. Great jeans look good on everyone. Conservative media seized the moment. Fox News aired 85-plus minutes across segments on the issue, framing the backlash as symptomatic of leftist overreach. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung publicly criticized the outcry as cancel culture run amok, saying liberal reaction was a factor in shaping recent politics. Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly mocked the outrage, suggesting critics had taken an innocent pun to absurd extremes.
Okay, this is obviously a reference to her body and not to her skin color, but the lunatic left is going to do what the lunatic left is going to do.
Maher quipped critics labeled her a Nazi over her bra size, while referencing 3Ks ironically. Former President Donald Trump called the ad a very funny thing, noting how unpredictable audience reactions can be.
If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic.
Despite friction, American Eagle saw a roughly 10% rise in stock post-launch, arguably driven by heightened visibility and controversy-induced buzz. Some marketing analysts speculate it was a calculated move to disrupt traditional woke messaging with bold, viral content. Sydney herself has maintained silence, No direct public comments on the ad or associated controversy thus far.
Y'all, after this interview I just watched, I am convinced that Sydney Sweeney is a MAGA Republican, and no one can convince me otherwise. Y'all need to see this.
Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself?
Yeah.
Okay. And the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
We should talk about Cassie.
Analysts suggest she's comfortable inhabiting media storms and may even be playing the game on her own terms. And it all escalated even more, because just a few months earlier, the internet had already gone viral over the bathwater scandal. Chapter 2. Sydney's Bathwater Bliss.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Wash? Well, you can't have it.
In late May 2025, Sydney Sweeney and men's grooming brand Dr. Squatch launched a limited edition soap bar called Sydney's Bathwater Bliss, containing droplets of her actual bathwater from a previous ad shoot. It was scented with pine bark, exfoliating sand, Douglas fir, and moss. Only 5,000 units, priced at around $8 each, were made available starting June 6th and sold out within minutes, causing the site to crash. Many social media users were visibly turned off. Some called it sad for humanity, designed to objectify her, even comparing it to OnlyFans-style content.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Wash? Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys, it's for men.
Critics argued that while the product was viral, it reinforced male gaze tropes and undermined feminism, especially given Sweeney's previous body-shaming incidents. When asked at the Echo Valley premiere what she thought of the criticism, Sweeney replied with 2 words. Honestly, though.
I have to ask you about the soap. People on the internet were, I was going to say anything that'll make men shower.
I mean, honestly, though.
She confirmed she conceptualized the idea herself, saying, "When your fans ask for your bathwater, you can either ignore it or make soap." I chose the latter. She framed it as playful feminism and a way to wake men up to natural personal care, emphasizing that she pitched and endorsed the project.
We also have to ask you about your Dr. Squatch. And everyone is talking about. Tell me about that partnership.
I think that it's more fun to see everybody else talk about it.
How did that creative concept come to be?
I pitched it.
The soap's bulk sellout led to skyrocketing resale prices. Some eBay listings soared up to $2,000. Dr. Squatch explicitly denounced unauthorized Walmart or third-party listings as fake. Despite the backlash, PR experts see the stunt benefiting her visibility. Sweeney's brand thrives on controversy and viral engagement. Many TikTokers and Redditors interpreted the bathwater soap stunt as another example of Sydney leaning into sexualized branding. For critics who previously challenged her portrayal as symbolically tied to narrow beauty ideals, the soap stunt confirmed suspicions that she plays into consumer fantasies built around her appearance. A comment captured it well. "This is what happens when you are admired by mostly men. They reduce you to a mere object of desire."
Bouncy and firm. Really? Let's face it, guys only want one thing. It's determined by my genes. Hey.
Now, let's talk about how controversy, sex appeal, and control built a Gen Z icon. Chapter 3. Media Representation. Sydney Sweeney began gaining widespread attention through supporting roles in Euphoria and The White Lotus, series known for their raw, provocative storytelling. What set her apart wasn't just her acting, but the emotional nakedness and literal nudity of her performances.
Do you think it was because of Euphoria that then every role then became she's being sexualized? Or
Yeah, I think that Cassie was just such a big pop culture type character with Euphoria and the zeitgeist of the generation. Yeah. Honestly, it was the first big thing for me.
She quickly became a flashpoint in discussions about objectification versus agency, the male gaze in prestige TV, whether she was being exploited or in full control.
Like, your entire career is based on sexual reductionism. Like, you've dropped a lingerie line for men to buy their girlfriends, and bathwater soap. Because, yeah, truly nothing says female empowerment like sexualizing yourself and existing for the male gaze. I don't hate Sydney Sweeney because she's more attractive than me. I don't hate Sydney Sweeney at all. I just think that she's a perfect example of the fact that the only way that a woman can succeed in the mainstream media is by sexualizing herself.
Early insight. Instead of distancing herself from these themes, Sweeney embraced them. She didn't reject the sexy image, she refined it.
Is it hard to act while I'm not wearing clothes? No.
You don't find you get, like, nervous?
No. I think that I have gained so much confidence and self-awareness through Cassie. I think that the female body is a very powerful thing. I think that for me, I'm telling my character's story. And so I owe it to them to tell it well and do what needs to be done.
People discredit me as an actor because I have boobs, she said in a 2022 interview. That line became a feminist lightning rod. Sweeney's public image isn't just sexy, it's strategically retro-sexy. Her Instagram is filled with 1960s/70s inspired pinup photos, soft lighting, lingerie shoots, and bombshell aesthetics. Quiet luxury meets wholesome Americana. She fixes cars and wears Daisy Dukes. Rather than letting studios or tabloids sexualize her on their terms, she aestheticizes herself, mixing Hollywood glam with girl next door relatability. This appeals to both Gen Z's obsession with hot girls who also bake sourdough and older audiences who associate her look with Marilyn Monroe or Anna Nicole Smith. People love comparing Sydney Sweeney to Marilyn Monroe, but honestly, she's more like a modern remix of the same archetype. Back in the 1950s, Marilyn was this perfectly polished sex symbol. Beautiful, desirable, and completely managed by men. She didn't control the image controlled her. Sydney, on the other hand, is playing the same role but with way more awareness. She knows exactly what she's doing. She leans into the blonde bombshell thing, the pinup poses, the soft lighting, the girl who can fix cars fantasy. But she does it with a wink. It's not naive, it's calculated. Instead of being used by the system, she uses the system. She turns her image into marketing. She turns marketing into memes. And she turns all of that into money. Therefore, Sweeney is often attacked by both progressive feminists for playing into patriarchal tropes and conservative media for wokeness via victimhood. She survives both storms by refusing to pick a side and lets the contradictions be her currency. Chapter 4. Relationship drama. Now, let's talk about the romance drama that's been fueling even more backlash. Sydney was engaged to restaurateur Jonathan Davino for several years. In 2025, she confirmed the engagement was off. She said, "I'm learning a lot about myself, spending more time with my friends, and I'm loving it." But things got messy when she was heavily linked to co-star Glenn Powell during press for their rom-com Anyone But You.
Glenn Powell, eye color. Yes. What's my color? You have like blue-green eyes. Blue-green eyes. Yeah, you're right. Are they blue? Yeah, you have outrim of blue and it's green.
Their on-screen chemistry looked a little too real, and the internet noticed. Fans began speculating that their flirtation had crossed into real life. Soon after, Glenn Powell's girlfriend at the time, model Gigi Paris, unfollowed Sydney on Instagram and posted a now iconic video captioned, "Know your worth and on to the next." Yikes.
I had two options. I could either pretend like I was going along with everything and have everyone wonder, like, are they hooking up? Are they not hooking up? Is she okay with this? What the f***? Like, or stand up for myself and say, no, I'm actually not okay with this and I'm walking away. So that's what I decided to do.
Neither Sydney nor Glenn confirmed anything, but the damage to Sydney's image was done, especially among women who saw her as complicit in the alleged relationship drama. Then came the Scooter Braun rumors. Yes, that's Scooter Braun, music executive, controversial figure, and public enemy #1 for many Swifties. In late 2025, multiple outlets reported that Sydney and Scooter were romantically involved and potentially even house hunting. This sent fans over the edge. Social media exploded with criticism, saying she went from one PR mess to a full-on image implosion. People called the pairing gross, career sabotage, and a complete misread of her audience. Instead of redeeming her brand, the Scooter connection only intensified the idea that Sydney has no awareness of how her actions affect her relatability, or her legacy. Now here's where it gets personal. Some fans have started labeling Sydney as the ultimate pick-me girl, a woman who subtly or overtly appeals to the male gaze while maintaining a cool girl persona. On TikTok, it's become common to see clips of her interviews captioned with things like "pick me energy" or "she's not like other girls, she's for the boys."
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Wash? Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys.
Critics argue she's building her brand on the validation of men, leaning into roles, imagery, and endorsements that appeal primarily to a male audience, while distancing herself from women-centered spaces. But others push back, saying that labeling any woman who embraces her sexuality or flirts with her image as a pick-me is internalized misogyny. So which is it? Is Sydney strategically gaming the system, or just playing the role the system handed her? Chapter 5. Rich Girl Access. If there was any doubt Sydney Sweeney had officially entered the world of the rich and powerful, it disappeared when she showed up at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding celebration. But unlike other celebrity appearances, this one had less to do with friendship and more to do with business. Sydney Sweeney is reportedly launching her own luxury lingerie brand, backed by heavyweight investors like Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez, and Coatu. Industry insiders are already estimating its value at $20 million, before it even launches. Think Skims meets Fenty, but with Sydney's signature energy, hyper-feminine, slightly scandalous, and Instagram-ready. Some say this is why she was at Bezos' wedding in the first place. Not for social climbing, but to cement a business partnership. And there's more. Rumor has it Bezos is also attached to the next James Bond production, and that Sydney is being floated as the next American Bond girl.
What type of Bond girl would you like to be?
I think I said this before, but I think I'd have way more fun being James Bond.
Ooh, I know that's right.
Yeah.
Whether true or not, it's clear this isn't just celebrity side hustle energy, it's empire building. Sydney's not just surviving the backlash, she's monetizing it. Chapter 6. Cool Girl Trope. There's another layer to Sydney's branding that deserves attention. The curated image of being not just beautiful, but brilliant. It's the ultimate male fantasy. A blonde bombshell who can change your oil and quote Dostoevsky. Her team has carefully seeded facts to support this, that she taught herself Russian as a child, though there's no public footage of her ever speaking it. That she was her high school's valedictorian, but in a graduating class so small, it barely resembles the Hollywood narrative of academic domination. Then there's the car obsession. Sydney repairs vintage cars herself. Her TikToks and interviews are filled with shots of her in cutoffs and a grease-stained tank top, tightening bolts and revving engines. It's not just a hobby, it's branding.
Sydney Sweeney, valedictorian.
Yes, I was valedictorian.
You're the Sydney Sweeney fix cars.
Yes, I do. I work on cars. I have a 1969 Bronco. So in high school, I taught myself Russian. I was really, really good at it. And then I took Spanish for most of my life, and my dad lives in Mexico, so I can speak Spanish quite well.
Okay.
No, I was nominated for 2 Emmys, though.
Sydney Sweeney, do MMA.
I do. I started training when I was about 12 years old with Ronda Rousey senseis, and I really liked it.
All of this fits the classic cool girl archetype, popularized by the Gone Girl monologue. She's sexy but low maintenance, eats burgers without gaining weight, knows about engines, watches sports, and doesn't make a fuss. She's not like other girls. She's every guy's dream. And that's exactly the problem for some fans. It feels too curated, too perfect, too aimed at male approval to be truly feminist. The soap, the jeans, the cars, the silence during controversies, it all adds up to a woman more image than substance. So again, we ask, is Sydney the architect of her myth, or just a participant in one built for her? Chapter 7. Career versus credibility. Let's talk about Sydney's filmography. Over the past few years, she's appeared in an impressive number of movies and shows, from indie dramas to big studio rom-coms. But here's the question, are they actually any good? While Sydney's performances are often praised, the quality of her projects has been inconsistent. Anyone But You got decent box office numbers but mixed reviews. Reality received some critical attention, especially for its minimalist storytelling. But many of her other projects, like Madame Web or Immaculate, either flew under the radar or were panned by critics. She's yet to land any major film awards, and her Emmy nods were for ensemble-heavy shows like Euphoria and The White Lotus, So while she's working nonstop, critics and fans are beginning to wonder, is she choosing quantity over quality?
Every night at dinner, I'll be there. Every birthday party, I'll be there. Every Christmas, I'll be there.
Then there's the constant comparison to her Euphoria co-star Alexa Demi. Alexa is far more low-key, rarely seen outside her roles, and isn't associated with overexposure or online drama. Many fans see Alexa as the antithesis to Sydney. Stylish, mysterious, and unapologetically cool. It's a contrast that only sharpens the criticisms of Sydney's hypervisibility, where Alexa lets the work speak, Sydney lets the headlines talk, and not everyone is here for it. But it's not just about appearances anymore. In 2020, Sydney founded her own production company, 50/50 Films, a move that instantly drew comparisons to Margot Robbie's Lucky Chap Entertainment, the company behind I, Tonya, and Barbie. Like Margot, Sydney said she wanted to tell stories through the female gaze and create roles that reflect women with depth, complexity, and contradictions, the kind she rarely got offered early in her career.
50/50 Films. And is it true that one of the reasons you named it that was because that you believe it takes multiple people, that there's a shared credit, you don't do anything alone? Tell me about the name, because I really appreciated the intention behind it.
I truly believe in collaboration. I think more minds are better in a room than just one. And I believe everybody deserves a seat at the table. And so I hope that with my company, it allows other people to have a voice and be able to just be a part of the bigger picture.
Under that banner, she's already taken credits as a producer and executive producer on projects like Immaculate, 2024, and Anyone But You, 2023, positioning herself not just as a talent, but as a decision maker. But again, the question returns. Is she choosing quantity over quality when each of these projects still comes with mixed reception? On one hand, she's actively shaping her story. On the other, it puts her under even more scrutiny. Chapter 8. Overexposure. Sydney Sweeney isn't just a rising actress, she's quietly become a one-woman brand economy. In the past year alone, she's fronted campaigns for Armani Beauty, shot high-concept ads for Samsung, launched viral collabs with Sephora, and slipped seamlessly into partnerships with everyone from Laneige and Miu Miu to Frankie's Bikinis and Ford. She's a walking case study in multi-industry brand saturation. Beauty, tech, fashion, cars, skincare, her image isn't tied to one niche because it's been engineered to fit every niche. And while the deals keep coming, so does the criticism. When your face is in every feed, on every product, in every algorithm, at what point do you stop being a star and start being a logo?
Guys, no hate to Sydney Sweeney, but why is she the face of everything? Every makeup brand I can think of at Sephora, you walk in, skincare, hair care, beauty, makeup, she's the face. Every ad I see is Sydney Sweeney. And now look at this drink. There she is. Like, girl, she's everywhere.
But from the other hand, the girl is working. Euphoria alone didn't buy her that $8 million mansion. I think we all can agree that Sydney Sweeney isn't just an actress anymore. She's a brand. Every controversy, every meme, every ad that goes too far keeps her name in circulation. Because in 2025, attention is the currency, and Sydney spends it better than anyone. She's figured out the paradox of fame. To stay relevant, you have to be both admired and criticized. And whether you see her as a woman reclaiming power or a genius playing the system, one thing's clear. She's in control of the chaos. She's the perfect mirror for our moment. We want women to be confident, but not too confident. Sexy, but not strategic. Visible, but never self-aware. So maybe the real question isn't, what's wrong with Sydney Sweeney? Maybe it's what our obsession with her says about us.
Maybe the problem isn't me. Maybe it's you.